Bat Force Radio.
Hey guys, Dustin Wynn.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Bat Force Radio. Let's see, we've got a full house here tonight. We've got Grandpa Batman in Texas.
Howdy.
We've got Kevin the Intern in Jersey.
Hi.
We got Teasus also in Jersey.
You.
Some kind of conspiracy going on here. I'm Robin Cross in Canada. And tonight, this has been a bit coming. Tonight's guest, you know him from Punk Rock Jesus, Tokyo Ghost, Plot Holes, Zorro Man of the Dead, and of course the Batman White Knight universe, and our most commonly returning guest here on the show, episode number 9, joining us here today. Welcome back. It's Sean Murphy.
I'm the biggest loser with nothing to do.
No. We were talking about this pre-show. This is going to be your 9th episode with us, and
Jesus.
I mean, we are, always so grateful that you give us your time and want to talk to us. It makes me proud that we actually have that relation with you. And if you keep going, you'll be the first member of the 10-time club.
Oh, really?
Wow.
The 10 timers club. I don't know what the prize is. Maybe a smoker's jacket or a hoodie or something. I don't know.
Yeah. The prize is that
with the 5-time timers club.
Yeah.
The prize is that you get to host the 11th one.
Nice. 10 times club sounds like my favorite porn site.
And I came across this today. So the first episode you were on, the date it was published was 8 years ago today, May 9th in 2018.
Wow. You guys need something better.
Look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
That's been a while. And maybe, knock on wood, we can get through this episode without potentially train wrecking the next big thing coming in comics. Potentially, stopping it from happening. That was interesting last time. But how's things with you?
Good. Busy. All I do is work. I've been realizing lately that because we don't have kids, most people my age have new things to talk about with their children. And for me, I'm doing a book about cars, and I think about Batman a lot, and I might do more Batman. And it's just hard to, I don't regret it at all, but I think I need some hobbies outside of comics as well. But all I do is work.
It's overrated.
Yeah.
The last time we spoke to you was for Zorro Man of the Dead, and you're continuing in the creator-owned vein. Now you mentioned, that you think about Batman a lot. Is there a part of you that wonders when you're, taking one of these big swings on a creator-owned thing? Does any part of you think, why am I gambling on this, and instead of just, another sure thing with the next Batman chapter?
Yeah, there were some bumps along the road with Zorro, but I learned a lot. I've never licensed anything before, so I'm always happy for the new experiences. But Batman, I don't know if I could just do Batman back to back forever. I think I would get bored. When I'm finishing up a Batman book, as much as I love it, I'm always excited to move on to something new and get out of Gotham for a while. Worry is taking too much of a gap. So I'm working. I just finished the script for issue 1 for the next White Knight series, and I'm excited to be working with Batman and Superman this time. So it's definitely good to be back. But trying to sort of manage Last Driver, and then I'm writing a book for a friend, and then I'm also gearing up to do more Gotham. It's just a lot of spinning plates.
Yeah, you're working on something with Corin too, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a horror book. It's called
Nice.
The Lost Bones of Lake Totem. Hasn't been announced yet. I'm guessing it'll be an Image book when it's time. So she's almost finished with issue 4, and I've never written horror before. It's not my go-to. So I've had my friend Clay help me out a lot. He's always been working with me at Zorro and Batman and stuff. So yeah, he knows a lot more about horror than I do. So I think I'm in good hands.
Yeah,
But
we love Clay here.
We'll have to have Corinne go on your show when it's time, when that book announces.
Yeah, I was thinking about bothering her for that.
Yeah, you should.
Now, you mentioned that that one's probably going to be on Image. Of course, for North American printing, for what we're here to talk about today, The Last Driver, that's coming out through Image. What brings you back to Image for a title like this?
I am tired of using Kickstarter. It's cool. I feel like I've pioneered a lot of it. I've gotten friends of mine interested in it. It's great, but it just takes a long time. And every extra day I spend doing admin stuff, I could be doing a cover or original or a new print. And it's just the time it takes to do Kickstarter. I found it's just not worth it for me. I'm lucky to have other opportunities. So it's just easier to go back to the traditional route, Yeah, and I've had Image books before, Chrononauts and Tokyo Ghost. So yeah, they've been really good. Eric Stevenson gets back to me right away. Yeah, it's been really easy actually. I'm kind of kicking myself for bothering with Kickstarter in the past,
That kind of answers one of the questions that I had written down, because Zorro Man of the Dead was your first time doing a Kickstarter project, and it was immensely successful. I remember, was it 2023 when it came out, 2024, and you had the premiere party here in Dallas.
Oh yeah,
Grapevine. That was an awesome. I won this.
Oh yeah,
only one of 2 made.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. But like you said, it sounds like it's a lot of hands-on administrative work versus creative work.
Yeah. It's silly. Like if you stop and thought about it, like clearly the reason comics are made the way they are as an assembly line, clearly it's done for a reason. Clearly someone that's got their head buried, in pencils and paper all day can't just hop on the phone and call a printer, can't just start coloring, can't just go to dialogue. It's like there's a reason why this job is segregated into sections. And I love the challenge of tackling everything, but it's just not for most people doing that. Like it's way easier just to be an artist and be like, give me the script, I draw it, I send it off, and then I get the next script, and that's my life. Like that's definitely the easiest way to go about this. I don't know why I bother getting myself into so much trouble taking on more things.
I think one of the cool things too, just talking with you within the past few years, going from Batman to a lot of your IPs to Zorro, and then now creating your own stuff, I think you've been able to really taste all these levels of the business, right? Working high level with Batman. When we met in Jersey, you were like, hey, this is my first experience in licensing, and now you're back to your own IP. So it's that level of versatility that I think will help you be inspired to jump into every channel, and still, when it's time for you to jump into Batman, now you have this fresh perspective and you still stay hungry about it, right? Because you don't want to lean into that autopilot of Batman. You want to keep it fresh. So being exposed to these other things I think are great for you.
Yeah. I guess my one worry is like, if I want to do White Knight forever. Like I'd like to keep coming back I want to do like one for them, one for me. I probably said that here before. And The Last Driver is obviously one for me. And I want to do more sequels. I think this is going to be my Hellboy. I think Last Driver, I've got ideas for volume 2 and volume 3. I'll come back to Image in between Batman books, and that'll keep me going for another 10 or 15 years, honestly. I keep planning on killing Batman at the end of every book, but he just keeps living. Even if I do kill him, I could still do another like White Knight Year 1. I could always have that in my back pocket too. So.
Oh yes.
You could just rewind the tape a little bit, and just tell the story.
But I know we're not talking about Batman on your Batman podcast, but I still want to kill Batman because that's the one thing that like Frank Miller and Scott have never done yet. If I could be the first to actually kill my Batman, then
Well,
I
let's
win.
not
I
go
don't know.
spoiling the next arc of Absolute Batman now.
It's probably not the thing you want to say on a Batman podcast.
We went beyond that a long time ago, I think.
Yeah.
But you mentioned from doing the crowdfunding kind of thing, being on that side of it. We were talking before we went on about seeing other aspects of things. We were talking about the conventions thing, and how over maybe over like I feel like it's in less than the last 10 years that most major, all the way down, like, even to just upcoming creators seem to be with what are usually pretty major art reps now.
Yeah.
And you end up with this machine that is behind them, which is great for them. I'm sure it makes the con experience, it's easier. They don't have to lug their stuff.
Right.
And everything that they need is taken care of. But what it results in for people attending the cons is getting kind of surprised when they wait for 45 minutes in line.
Yeah.
Where they used to walk up there and they could get 3 signatures or something for free from their favorite creator before they had to worry about some extra costs on top of it.
Yeah.
Now it's like you wait those 45 minutes and you're hit with in a lot of cases like a $30 charge for the first sig.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on how that's going? Because you aren't with
No.
one of these big companies.
Yeah, I do. My Jake is my really good friend, my brother, and he is my art dealer and road manager. He works at a bank as a vice president. He does theater, and he also used to do road crew with WWE wrestlers and Bruno Mars. So he's like very qualified. He's got all. I told him when I hired him, you have all the things I need. If you can use your vacation days, I'll take you to conventions. He used to work at a comic book shop too, and like ran Newbury Comics here in Maine. So Jake has everything, and he is such a good salesman, and he's so positive and happy to be there that it started making me better. Like I've always been outgoing, and I really love talking to people. But for the first few years in comics, I was just as awkward as anybody else sitting in Artist Alley. I didn't human that well. I would say weird things because I don't really talk to people all day when I'm working, that introversion shows. It took me a long time before I got, good at being at a table. But Jake really helped me boost it to a new level. And people will tell us like, man, you guys are so much better. Like this, I love being here. I love coming back. I love spending money. You're so great. Thank you. You're so patient. We go out of our way. Like I think a lot of dealers, are like suspicious of people that show up at the table. Like they want to get as much money out of every person as they can, and they don't want to be gouged. And if they think that they're selling something too cheap and someone's going to flip it online, they feel like they got fucked over. And then they get actually like really hawkish to protect their artists from that happening. And that vibe is not the most positive vibe at a table. Like I don't sit down thinking, let's get as much money as we can out of people. We think we do 5 signatures for free. People spend a lot of money to get here already. And everyone should walk away with something. We've got inexpensive things for them. If they're surprised that really free? We go, yeah, we want to buy a $5 print, you're always welcome. And they'll usually spend a lot more. And they'll come up and be like, you have the best table, the best experience by far. And I just think it has to do a lot with Jake. I feed off of his energy, and we don't see ourselves as a store trying to get as much out of each person waiting in line. We really see it as like we are here at the show to experience this culture together. And I know I'm on the other side of the table, and yeah, I'm here to spend money, but I'm really like a conveyor of Batman, or like I like Batman too. You like Batman, let's like Batman together. Like, yes, I drew the book that you like and you want to tell me that you like it, which I appreciate, but I'm not here to have my ego filled like that. I really want you to walk away with a good experience, and I don't want you to feel ripped off or gouged ever, So that's kind of what I'm after. And I think with that attitude, we end up making a lot more money. Like one of the last podcasts Dave did, he was talking about MegaCon, and they were saying, Sean really is all about the fans. I'm like, yeah, of course I am, but I'm here to make money too. But if you create that positive vibe and really work hard to take care of people, they'll come back. And you can do both. I make more at my table more than probably 99% of people at conventions. And I'm not bragging. Like, really, I'm just happy, and I feed off of people's positive energy. And I realized too, like when I draw for them, it's like performance art. It's like when I was a kid and I would watch Bob Ross paint, I was like in a trance. Like, how does he do this? So I think artists can forget what it's like to be a customer at a convention. Like when you approach a table, is the artist awkward? Is he going to even bother to look up? How long do you like wait around and hang on his peripheral vision before you finally say like, hi, can I get something? Or you have an art dealer that's like, those are $10. If you're not going to buy it, please put it back. Like, that kind of shit happens all the time. So that's what people go to cons have to deal with. And every table is going to throw you a different curveball. So we really try to be the exception if we can, really try to make people feel welcome. And as you know, I hired Dave to stand in my line, and he's there to show people art. He's there to chat them up, ask them what they want, tell them that the first signatures are free. So they're prepared by Dave. They can go online and look at my Instagram post, which shows my prices. And by the time they get up to the table with Jake and I, like hopefully they're ready to go, ready to spend. We
call Dave the lube around here.
Yeah, report sites. And it's just about the vibes for us, and we're really lucky. And I haven't even had a book on the shelves for about a year and a half. So like we've managed to thrive in a drought in a lot of ways. So Jake's getting excited for when this comes out, Batman comes out, because now he'll have something more to work with. If that makes sense.
Jake is awesome. I've met him at the Dallas Con, and he is a fun guy. And what was funny is that I came back to your table a couple of times, and we still had that like banter every time. I loved it. It was fun. I think one thing that also adds value at your table, I don't see many artists do this, but your 5-minute sketches. I mean, those are so popular, and it's like so cool that you go to see one of your favorite artists and he makes a one-of-a-kind drawing for you in 5 minutes. I mean, where else can you get that?
Yeah, 5 or 10. I'll put extra gas in some of them. I often it's supposed to be 2 minutes to 5 minutes, but I can't help myself. Yeah. So we're told that our prices are too low, and I wanted to bring this up because someone told me I need to start charging. So I do 5 signatures for free. After that is $5 each, and someone told me I should just charge $10 each. Period. No free sketches. Sorry, no free signatures. And then I see a guy like Jimmy Palmiotti, who's a friend, and he does one free signature, and then everything after that is $10 or $20. I know Otley, if you have certain editions of the books of Invincible, it costs way more to sign them. And when people are like surprised and get sticker shock after they've been waiting in line for 2 hours, they're probably not walking away happy, And I think the other difference too is like I sit at my table all day. So my line is, I try to keep it short. So generally there's maybe like a 30 to 40 minute wait for me. Whereas when, Scott Snyder sits down, it's, for 2 hours. So there's a long line. And after waiting in that line, you're not going to not spend $100 on a signature, but you might not be happy about it either, So I just feel like having that, it's a loss leader. It's important. Sorry, I'm trying to not skate around the point.
No, what your point is that you're there all day, so that helps move the lines along versus someone that may be only there for a short window of time. And everyone's gonna have a mad rush to see them because they only know they're going to be there for 2 hours out of the day or this 2 hour window, and being there, all day. And I've seen it in the flesh, literally at your table all day. Yeah, it really helps. Like you said, move the line. Everyone goes to your table. They're happy. They get to meet you. They get to talk with you. And you're very personable. I find it, on this side of the table, it's like, oh my gosh, I get to talk to him and he knows who I am. He remembers me from time to time. Wow, this is just amazing to me. This is what we
I remember you too, Gramps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean's like, oh, that guy again. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
But also, I kind of the loss leader part that you mentioned, like if someone's waiting in that line for half an hour, whatever it is,
yeah.
and when they get up to the front and they're having that nervous moment, like it's finally time now,
Mhm.
and you're not shocking them with, okay, that'll be $30 for the first signature, then they're more likely to start looking at stuff like, can I get one of those prints? Oh, and I'll take a copy of that book you got there too. And
Right.
add more things because you didn't just slap them in the face with a charge.
Yeah, we're still getting their money. Not. It's not charity, of course, but the positive energy of 5 free signatures with like a really polite, Jake's great. I try to be as good as Jake. I like talking to people. I don't want to rush them. I think that they walk away and they think, man, that was actually a really great experience. I need to go back. So if we do go back to a show, we try to gap it, make sure there's a gap so we don't hit a region too often, except for New York and San Diego. That's a different animal. But when we go back to a region, we'll have new prints to make sure those people have a reason to come back. So we'll see the same faces over and over. And I don't know if I hit them with $10 a signature outright and then charge another $100 over what I'm charging now, even if I like started to dial everything up to an 11, would I make more money over the long run? Maybe, but I'm not convinced. I do think there's something about the positive vibes, that ends up making them happy and they end up spending more money at the same time,
Yeah.
And you're always going to have that bridge too that you got to cross if you decide to take the advice of other people and increase your prices. Then you're going to have those people that start saying, oh, Sean changed, man.
Yeah, that'll happen. I mean, then people will come in and be like, hey, he's a professional. He needs to make his money, blah, blah, blah. But, like the difference with me is like I make most of my money selling original art and getting royalties. A lot of people in Artist Alley don't have a lot of stuff published, so they have to charge more to pay rent. So in a way, they're docking people. They're supplementing their income because they don't have a lot of comics out there. They have to charge more for signatures to get closer to a reasonable salary. I don't have to do that because I don't need your signature money. I mostly make my money doing other things. So people would ask like, well, why is this no-name guy is charging more for signatures than Sean Murphy? Well, Sean makes most of his money on royalties, so he doesn't need to charge as much. But it's got to be weird to be a customer and to pay more for a no-name than it is for someone like me. And I don't blame, someone that's just starting out needing to charge more to make rent. Like I get it,
Right.
But there's a penalty that you pay for that. Like, will that person keep coming back if you're going to keep gouging them like that?
And it's also that overhead representation, right? You go to NYCC, there's 2 or 3 aisles flooded with artists, right?
Yeah.
And where you're independent, right? You have your team. There's fluidity. You're investing in retention, right? So people know they want to see you 2 or 3 times a con, and they spend time with you. So like you should not be fraying away from your sauce because you don't have to be underneath that umbrella, right? It's It's just a different brand, right?
Yeah.
And it, like Robin was saying, like it throws people off their game where they wait for 30, 40 minutes and now they can't collect their thoughts because now they only have a minute and a half to see you, right? It's totally different, and it should never fray from that because people expect that from you. They expect that level of experience every time. So
I mean, it's funny because I think about the people who are really good at conventions. I think Terry Dodson is great at this. I think J. Scott Campbell and Adam Hughes. I think those are some of the top performers who don't have art reps. They do it themselves. And to do it yourself, I understand you have to be a certain type of brain. Like not everyone would want to do it the way that Terry Dodson or I do it. It's easier to have essential sequential or splash art or whatever, have someone just manage it for you and just give you cash at the end of the day. You just hope that they're, working to your benefit as hard as they can. You don't really question it sometimes, and that's fine. But like, Terry has, 3 really bold, colorful banners, nice and high, so you can see it. He's got a good spot in the exhibitor table. San Diego's different because like once you have real estate there, you never want to give it up. It's like really competitive. and that's $80,000 that these guys make over 5 days. Like
Wow.
that need that space. Yeah. Adam Hughes, his wife, helps him a lot. She's really great at it. J. Scott Campbell does way into the variant covers and stuff. Like that's not my jam, but I totally would love to, bend his ear and ask him advice and just see what he's doing that I haven't thought of, because it's clearly working for him, But yeah, I think most artists would probably be better served going with a big art rep. But they're really only going to get you 50 to 80% of what you could be getting if you were handling it yourself and you were good at it.
Right.
Like when I was with art reps, they didn't buy extra copies of White Knight to always have on hand. They didn't remind me to do new prints for the show. They didn't. There's a lot of little ways to make more money, and to like how to visualize the table, how to organize it. So like, a lot of my friends have reps, and the reps work hard. And I think my friends are just happy to be like, I'm here in New York. I trust my rep. At the end of the day, he says I made $8,000. It's more than I had at the beginning. So I'm happy, that's it. But if they really thought about it, they could probably have had 10 grand or something or more if they were really paying attention. Because if I'm an art rep and I have 10 people, like I can't collectively remember to buy everyone's book to make sure they're all stocked. Like there's going to be some slippage, just inevitably. Again, I'm not, criticizing it. I certainly understand both ways of doing things, but we found that if I'm going to go to 5 shows a year, that's all I have time for. If I'm going to take, 5 days off of work, I have to make X amount per day. So, Jake and I have to work hard to figure out how do we reach our number,
No, and we don't think of this as criticism. It's just interesting to hear from your side and your perspective about the business, because at the end of the day, it is a business. And, like you said, that those are days that you're taking away from creating your books and drawing your books, which again, that pays the bills, that pays the royalties. So it's interesting to learn about that because we don't know.
And it's great too. I wish Dave was here. Well, he shows up, I'll ask him more, because I found it really helpful listening to him explain about, like, you're at the show and you have your budget and who's going to be signing where. You've got 2 other buddies who are sort of doing recon, and you're always kind of talking, and you find out, oh, so-and-so is only doing sketches for X amount. So you rush across the convention to, like, I forget about what it's like to have to do a convention that way. Like how people's brains are working by the time they've sat through, idiots line, and here they are getting their White Knight sign. Like I really want to try to remember what it is they're going through, because, if I don't know, Frank Miller probably charges like way more for a signature on a he can't work as much as he used to. So I would probably defend that, but some artists don't need to do that, but they do it anyway. And to like surprise what customer with like $100 fee that they weren't expecting, that sucks,
Sure.
It just seems like they're probably not going to want to wait in line again, or every time they look at that, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I spent too much on that, didn't I? Rather than looking at a set of prints like, man, Sean and Jake were nice,
Yeah, and to that point, if you're coming away with maybe $2,000 more than you may have made if you had an art rep running your stuff, and on top of that, people are walking away thinking, remembering the good experience they had at your table, because you guys are instead of an art rep and their employees selling your stuff for you, they've got this little family. That's like the table is you, Jake, Colleen, Clay, and they're just
Corinne's there,
just doing your thing together.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy, and it's plastic. Like it's going to keep changing. We have tried to make adjustments all the time. Like it didn't. I was thinking about charging more for signatures until I heard Dave talk about that, and then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe everyone else is wrong to ask for so much. Maybe that's going to backfire. So we'll see.
Speaking of Dave, I think you had some announcement to make regarding David, didn't you?
Oh, that he's fired?
Yeah, there we go. Heard it here first.
No, he's good. But no, he's very valuable. And getting in and out of New York Comic Con can be tricky sometimes. A lot of the staff are Latino, so having Dave speak Spanish to get through an exit, that's super helpful. That might be worth $100 right there, So yeah, he's
8 feet tall and can carry you over the crowd.
Yeah, he's tall, but he has a a small footprint. You know, like he can reach over and grab things like a crane. It's not like he's a big dude who takes up a lot of space horizontally. You know. And a lot of his friends are like hot cosplay chicks, so he's gonna bring them around. That's all right.
Help bring more people around to your table.
Yeah,
it's funny because he can't win. Sometimes I'm like, dude, you got to get these girls out of here. You're distracting people in line. And then sometimes there's no one. I'm like, Dave, where are your hot friends? What the fuck, man? What's up to look at?
All right.
Do we want to get into
the
main reason we're here is to
good thinking, Gramps.
Yeah, promote and discuss your newest book, Last Driver. Very exciting. Yes.
Thank you.
How long have you been working on this, and what was the inspiration?
I've been doing this book for over a year, and I can't believe it's taken this long. I haven't been paid. I've made a lot less this last year than normal, but it's okay because I'm basically loading the gun for next year. When this comes out, my book with Corinne comes out, and then Batman starts coming back in. So, but this whole book, Last Driver, started out as a pitch to Kurt Russell. He doesn't know about it, but I had a meeting with a guy who was a producer. I think he was on cocaine when I was talking to him, and he was telling me he wants to pitch like a medium budget action movie. So I stopped what I was doing, and I worked with Clay, and we came up with this idea that I called The Last Driver. And the idea was, well, it's kind of like Escape from New York for Kurt Russell, but he's getting old. He probably doesn't want to do a lot of, stunts and action. But if he's behind the wheel, it's pretty easy on a guy his age. Maybe that's the way to think about this, is like Escape from New York in a car. So the pitch didn't go anywhere. Exactly. Yeah, the pitch didn't go anywhere. So I put it on the shelf for a while. I finished up Zorro, I think it was at the time. And then when I revisited it, I ended up changing so much of it. It was something that Clay and I were supposed to do together, but I ended up changing so much that he decided he would rather just help me edit and not share writing duties, which is probably a lot easier on me too. And I decided to make the main character Native American because I've just always dug Indians and, Indian cowboy movies. I was always rooting for the Indians. And I thought about, the Trump election and all the shit that's happening now. And I thought, I generally do put a little bit of politics in my books, so I don't want to shy away from that. But yeah, I wanted to envision a future where there was like another civil war, and it was like a digital civil war. And there's a, spread at the beginning of just like two hands on either side of the page, texting angry things. And in the middle, it's all meeting in this like circuit board of the internet with all these visuals that divide left versus right. Yeah. And this is as political as it gets, because you can see like, blue teams all about Greta Thunberg, LGBT, George Floyd, all that stuff. And then you've got a Tesla truck on the red, and, things in the middle are like money, freedom, Statue of Liberty, the earth, whatever. The girl on the left is clearly like a minority who's got cool, purple nail polish. And the dude on the right's got a military watch, and he's, probably a Joe Rogan guy or whatever. But I consciously didn't use words like that. I don't say Democrat, I don't say Republican, I don't say blue, red, woke, liberal, SJW, none of that stuff. Like I keep it like it's clear, but I don't want to write anything that's going to like trigger anybody or get anybody to attack me. It really is a book for sort of people stuck in the middle of these crazy sides who they keep getting us into trouble. And then the main character, Clutch, is like more American than anybody because he's a Native American. He knows what it's like to lose freedom. And in the future, in this divided society of people in the city versus people in the desert, he's stuck in the middle. He's kind of hated by both sides and sort of loved by both sides because, the liberals love him because he's a Native American and, he stands for LGBT rights and all that. But they don't like him because he's a gearhead and he's all about oil and, racing cars is kind of a problematic bro thing to do with your life. And then the conservatives don't like him because, maybe they're a little racist against brown people, but they don't like that he's a big Hollywood stuntman who hangs out with liberals and the Hollywood elites and all that. So he really feels sort of like stuck in the middle and can't really vibe with either side. And his granddaughter needs a heart transplant, so he's forced to do a heist, and he's the only one that knows how to drive a car anymore. So yeah, it kind of the soup was made up of all those ingredients. At that point, it was just a matter of how to narrow it down.
I love the social commentary that begins this book, because this is not a future. This is now.
Annoyingly, the news caught up with me, and I had to change some things because it was like when ice happened and it was literally bleeding on the street. I had to change some dialogue because it started to line up. Yeah, like I got too close to the truth on this one.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's what keeps happening with the showrunner of The Boys. By the time they can write a thing, shoot it, get the season on the air, then the thing's happening for real. And okay, what the fuck?
Yeah, no,
I can't do anything ridiculous enough.
I definitely feel that too. And again, I've got people on both sides of the political aisle as friends. I obviously lean a little more left myself, not as far left as some of my crazy friends, but I'm just tired of, I align with the main character here, who feels like he's been canceled by both sides. No one likes him. And he just wants to be left alone. And through him trying to save his granddaughter, he ends up teaching both sides a lesson. So yeah, this book is as much me as it can possibly get if I was a cool Native American race car driver.
Well, apparently you can predict the future, so maybe you should start working for The Simpsons or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the format is, so we talked about how this is coming out in North America from Image, but it's coming out in, I think, France as a graphic novel. What is the reason? Is it just because that's how things are so much more commonly done in North America, that it's coming out as single issues?
Yeah, so I've been friends with my French publishers a long time, and we always wanted to do a book together. And when Tokyo Ghost goes to France, Image takes a cut. So when I made friends with French publishers myself, I can just publish it there, not give Image a percentage. No offense to Image, and I've talked to Eric about this, and he's fine with it. So yeah, for me, it was just a way of saving money. Bring it to France. My French publishers are an agent where they can then license it to Spanish speakers, Portuguese speakers, whatever. So there's basically like 17 different language regions that most of the money you make is in English, French, and then there's a quick drop off to maybe Spanish or something, or Italian, but mostly like 60% of the money is made in America and in French speaking territories. And not so much in Japan as far as Western books for obvious reasons. And they got it first, and then I signed with Image just to do just to do English speaking regions. And in France, they don't really do floppies. They like graphic novels, which is cool. And here we kind of like to do both. So we're doing floppies first. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, that was my bad. I had a coworker that was a big comic fan growing up, and we actually spoke about this recently. And he was saying that just growing up, like the way that the French come out with books are always deluxe and premium. Yeah. There's no entry level. It's always like omnibus level or like premiere. So that's like him growing up, like that's his expectation, that a graphic novel is high end and perceived high execution.
They're beautiful. They take it so seriously. It's intimidating how good French and Italian, those guys are.
You're
the thing exactly that I've realized, they only do 44 pages a year sometimes. So they're so slow. That's why they're good. Wow. No offense. And then, they're European. They take a 4-hour lunch. I mean, and they live longer than us. So they obviously have something figured out that we don't. But yeah, with me, my goal was always to draw in a way that's high caliber, like a European, but on an American schedule.
And now this book, you're doing it printed horizontally. Kind of landscape instead of portrait. But the covers, I know you said that you wanted the covers printed normally to not piss off comic shops.
They hate, they hate when you mess with the format.
We hate it, but not only do we hate it, when a book has to be sideways, it's it gets seen by less people.
Yeah,
because it's not as tall on the shelf.
I know. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, the most of the covers are normal, straight up and down. So they're going to sit on the shelf normal. Those staples will be at the top. The cardstock will have to be a bit thicker so the book doesn't like sag. on the shelf.
Mm.
There are a handful of the variants that are sideways. Like I did a variant for each book myself, and those are sideways covers. So if you want, you can get those, but I wanted to make sure shops didn't bitch to me about messing with the format.
And you got Ryan Otley, who we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Variant.
Yeah, no, I said to all my friends who I was asking to do a cover, I first said, I'm like, you don't want to draw cards, you don't have to. I understand. So Ryan was like, great. And then he sent me this idea, homage that cover. I'm like, great. Like homage covers are worth a lot. And yeah, Ryan's a gem. I couldn't thank him enough. And he turned it around so fast. I'm very lucky, him and Mateo.
Yeah, great covers. We haven't seen a lot of the book out publicly, but just some of the covers, I think, are enough to start winning people over. Yeah,
so that's Clutch and the with the robot leg there. That's his granddaughter on the Mustang. That's his sister with a robot arm sitting down in the back. There's a theme where the whole book he's trying to play his favorite song from the band Boston. And in the future, like he refuses to use a cell phone because if you download music, then the robots will be able to find you. So his whole thing is like outlaws have to listen to physical media, which is the most hipster thing ever.
No, this is perfect because before I read this, and this is no bullshit.
Yeah.
Before I read this book, I was like,
that's the sideways cover right there. Sorry. Yeah.
I we already knew it was going to be about cars. I was like, I'm going to ask Sean, does this car have a CD player so he can play Boston More Than a Feeling? And then I open it up and he's playing Boston in the car. I was just like, this is meant to be.
Yeah. So the joke is as he keeps trying to get closer to the hospital to get his daughter a heart transplant, and he keeps having to get rid of cars and get new cars because they keep getting wrecked. And he's also trying, like he goes into an abandoned record store and he finds like an 8-track Boston. So he's like, great, this is his lucky song. He's got a cassette at one point, he's got a CD, but like they all keep breaking. The CD scratches, the cassette eats it, and the 8-track, whatever. And then finally he gets to hear the music at the very end with his granddaughter's help. And I won't spoil that, but it's just kind of, the movie Saving Private Ryan. I remember there being a sort of a gag where Tom Hanks's character is always trying to find a cup of coffee and he just can't get it. And when I rewatched it, it's not as much as a gag as I thought it was, but I still thought, oh, this will be cool if I have something like that where he's just trying to listen to his favorite fucking band.
He just wants 3 minutes and 36 seconds apiece. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can't use lyrics in because then you could get sued. You have to pay money to use lyrics. You can draw the record or the album itself, and you can put like little notes if you want. But yeah, you have to be really careful with that.
What can we talk about? Because I don't want to spoil too much, but can we talk about the relationship?
First 7 pages are up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The relationship with the granddaughter and the Clutch,
Yeah.
I love page 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it is page 6 or 7 where it looks like they're driving, right?
Yeah.
And you see these cars on the road and they're having this conversation about what it was like to drive, because in this world, there is no it is public transportation, but everything is self-driven on the grid.
Right.
The government controls traffic.
You can say all that. That's fine. Yeah. Government controls traffic. It's like in Minority Report, basically.
Yeah. And, they're having this conversation and she doesn't know a lot of things, about, well, obviously she doesn't know about driving.
Right.
And, the music and stuff like that. And it reminds me of like this, I don't know, you've probably seen the YouTube clip where they show kids electronic devices from like the 80s.
They don't know,
and they have no idea what they are.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
and I know every generation goes through this. A friend of mine is a vice principal at a grade school. When the kids come in, she hands them a phone. Like, if you need to call your parents, call it. And she hands them like a phone with buttons on it and like that. And the kids don't know how to use it. She's like, hold it up to your head. It's the same thing as your phone. Like, they're not dumb. They just don't know,
Right. Do the rotary.
Yeah. Like, I had to look up how 8-track tapes worked because I was born after that phenomenon. I've never actually heard an 8-track, but I think they're cool. So it's really, yeah, the funnest part for me was when his granddaughter is trying to get in the car. So he gets in the driver's seat. She's trying to get in over him. He's like, no, go around. There's a door on your side. So she's like, okay. She's like, it's not opening. He goes, use the metal handle. You got to pull it up. She's like, I've never been in the car before. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's used to these pods that just automatically open and you just sit in. She's never had to manually physically open a car door.
Yeah.
I was
Put your seatbelt on.
It was, like, she doesn't know. Like, she's like, what's a seatbelt? He's like, that metal box by your hip. Like, push that end into this end. Or, like, it's funny. Or she's asking about, like, what's this? She's pointing to the radio. And he's like, oh, it's a radio. And she goes, for downloading music? He's like, no, well, sort of. There's used to be this guy in a tower that would play music for everyone to hear, and you could like pick the station. And she was like, that's cool. And it's funny, like these things that we all take for granted about cars and driving and the radio, and explaining that to someone who's so much younger and won't ever know. It is really fun to write that stuff.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, she's like, you're telling me people got into the cars, drove 80 miles an hour on the road and didn't slam into each other all the time? Like, that's insane. Like, anybody could just accidentally turn the wheel and murder people. Like, that is going to sound crazy to someone one day. And we do it every day.
Yeah.
You know,
she's like, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And it isn't all one-sided. You do bring in someone who is sort of bringing up the other side of things. Well,
right.
No, people didn't always respect other people on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big metaphor too. Respecting what lane someone was in is him talking about respecting someone with political differences. And yeah, it was fun to sort of try to be. So I always try to make my comics like 90% sugar and fun, but then 10% vitamins. So there's at least something behind it. It's not just about crazy car chases. There's actually a message here for people who care, if they care.
Over the course, I'm not saying that this is something you've only done recently, but in particular with this book, I feel like you've really nailed sort of the art of the issue one.
Oh, thank you.
This issue, and if we didn't say it already, thank you for letting us get a look at this so far ahead of time. But this book does a great job of showing you what you're in store for and making you want to, no pun intended, to take that ride.
Right, fun accepted. Yeah, I come from screenwriting.
Well, then I meant it.
Yeah, you go. The rule with screenplays used to be within 10 minutes, you needed to have the audience has to know who the main character is, what the dilemma generally is, who the bad guy is, and kind of what the movie is going to be about. They need to know that in 10 minutes. And if you look at a lot of the scripts from the 80s, the Sid Field style scripts with 3-act structures, everyone does that. Like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, almost like 10 minutes in, you generally hit all those marks. And I feel like it's irresponsible with people's short attention spans to make a comic that takes 4 issues to get going anymore. Are you insane? People's attention spans are so short. You have to grab them page 1. You have to give them everything you have in issue 1. Every page, the last panel, has to be some kind of a cliffhanger. Even if it's a small one where a character just asks a question, the character asks, you want to turn the page to see what the other character is going to respond to. It's staggering how many comics don't do this, or how many comics just assume you're going to stick around for issue 4 to get a payoff. Like, that's $20 of investment over 4 months.
Right.
Yeah, you've got to hit them harder and faster than ever. I'm sorry. Maybe it's me being insecure as a writer and not trusting my audience, but I just feel like people are busy. They've got a lot to do, and I'm going to give it to you fast and hard, just like my favorite porn site.
Title of the episode, my favorite porn site.
Sean,
that should be the title.
When you started writing this and also reading the first issue, what year would you put this in your head, or do you want to just keep it vague?
Yeah, it's vague. I mean, there's pictures of Clutch in the back. So he's a race car driver / stuntman, just like Stuntman Mike, I guess. And in the background, you see him working on the set of Knight Rider and working on the movie Ronin. Like he seems to have been around forever, basically. And it's better if we don't ask how the timeline actually works.
Okay.
Yeah, but I imagine he was like born in 1975. So if he's 60 or 70 years old, who's good at math here?
Nope.
Yeah, maybe 2040, 2050, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking in my head. 2030, 2040.
Yeah.
Kev, the intern, can you confirm that, sir?
The date?
I'm just messing with you.
Good job, Devin.
Bring that up.
You're fired.
And what you haven't revealed yet, you mentioned that throughout the course of the story, you know, he's wrecking cars, has to get more cars. You haven't revealed that in issue 4, he comes across some assets from the Warner Brothers Museum, and he ends up driving around in the Pattinson Batmobile.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I did. There is one page in issue 2. So you see this collection of cars, and you've got the Mad Max car, Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, DeLorean, spinner car from Blade Runner, and even a Batmobile in there. But I drew as little of the Batmobile as possible because I don't need DC getting on my ass about that. But yeah, like this is the cool thing about doing this at Image. If I made this a Vertigo book, Warner Brothers / DC would be like, you can't draw the Dukes of Hazzard car because we don't own them. The lawyers are gonna do what lawyers do. Clearly, you know. With Image, they kind of don't care as much, so I can kind of get away with more, which I like. Because I was worried I was going to have to redraw this page where I got to finally draw the spinner car. Now, legally, I'm curious how it works too. Like, because I'm not saying this is a spinner in. This is. He has a collection of models of cars from movies that have been used. So, like, could they? The people that own Back to the Future, could they get legal with me because I used the DeLorean in the background panel one time? It's not like I'm doing a book about Marty. It's not like they're using it. It's not like it's actually a time machine. It's just a movie prop this guy has. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
But
legally,
also the DeLorean was a brand of car that just came and went. So
that's true too.
Back to the Future doesn't own it per se. They just featured it. So.
Well, they own the rights to like the version where it's flying, when the wheels are up. It's clearly like the movie version, you know. But you're right.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
How did you got away with a ton in Joe the Barbarian? So there's got to be, you know, some similar. Because Joe the Barbarian had like Transformers and GI Joes and DC characters. That was chock full of stuff. They
were not happy. Yeah, they used to project my pages and get like onto big screens and zoom in just to make sure who are we going to get sued by. Like, okay, that's clearly a Transformer. You can't make it yellow because they're going to think it's Bumblebee. So that Transformer cannot be. And I'd be like, why? I wanted this Transformer yellow. They're like, no, it has to be green because then we're not going to get sued.
Jeez.
I was waiting to see Rosa's El Camino.
Right. Oh, yeah, that should have been in there from Zorro.
I gotta say, I love El Caminos, and that I don't know why. I just think those are the coolest cars. So
yeah,
I just wanted to say in Zorro Man of the Dead, I was like, that's a badass.
Yeah, they're cool looking, especially when you see them raised and they're a little bit of off-roady type. Like, yeah, some of them don't look good. Some look really great, especially like the '69 El Camino. I think is the best one.
Every time I'm driving with my wife and I see one, I'm like, oh, I want that one day. And she's like, really? I was like, man, if I win the lottery, I'm getting one of those cars.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I drive a truck, and it's just kind of cool. They're economical, yet resourceful. I don't know.
Yeah. I like trucks. I don't feel the need to speed when I'm driving a truck. I'm fine going the speed limit like a working man. When I'm in a car, I go way over the speed limit, which is a lot. But trucks kind of force you to slow down, I think.
Yeah, they're a little heavier.
Yeah.
A little heavier.
What do you drive, Jesus?
Actually, I drove you when we were in New Jersey. Remember, I was in like a little Jeep.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah.
I'm all week I'm jumping on the bus to the city, so
yeah, that's fair.
I'm taking that little Jeep just to get to Target, but I would like to make an upgrade eventually because it's a little too compact, you know.
Right. Yeah. How about you, Robin?
I'm not a driver. I don't go very far anyway. Like, you know, I'm either at home or at the comic shop most of the time, and
Right.
the two are a 20-minute walk away. So I
Right.
try to
Wow.
walk everywhere. Probably the only reason that I was able to resurrect running. I got myself running again for the first time in years.
Oh, congratulations. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you drive,
Yeah.
Kevin?
Chevy Trailblazer. Nothing too cool.
This is a cool Hellblazer. Trailblazers out there now.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I had a Jeep, but that was a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Kev, what do you use to listen to Oasis when you're in the car?
I use Apple Music. However, my favorite car ever was a gift from my grandfather. It was a Crown Vic,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it had a cassette player. And my older brother gave me all those old cassettes from the '90s, like Danzig, Alice in Chains. stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that.
awesome.
So wow,
when
you really know what physical format is then. Wow.
Yeah, I was stoked when I was reading this and I saw that there was a cassette player in the car.
Yeah.
He was showing his granddaughter, like you can't just put on whatever song you want.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, no, it's funny. You get into a 90s car, it's got it's got that feel, that smell. Yeah, and Crown Vic too. That's no joke. I mean,
Yeah.
cops
Oh,
use
yeah.
those for a reason.
Yes.
Kevin's slowly drifting off to the side of the screen. He's halfway to turning on a different podcast.
Yeah, man, it's like you're in a chair on a hill or something.
I'm doing this on my phone. I need a better setup.
Oh, fair.
Now, Sean, did you try to, this is clearly your mission to draw as many cars as possible. I think that you
That's
basically
usually the mission.
because, that's usually, like you said.
Yeah, I
usually
planted
the
that
mission.
flag.
But did you try to learn or adapt any new art techniques or styles into this book?
Good question.
Especially with kind of the futuristic, RoboCop guys and all that.
Yeah, I'm trying to how to answer this. So every new project, I feel like there's something new to learn. When I did the Wake, I really wanted to learn how to do water because I didn't really have a good water texture. When I did Chrononauts, I wanted to learn horses because there's a lot of time skipping in that and all that. And in this, I think I learned more about drawing like cityscapes, like especially sci-fi cityscapes. Now, I did do a lot of it in Batman Beyond, so it's not really fair. But this thing I do now is like the road looks like it's on a track, like a roller coaster.
That's
going
what I was
up
going to point out.
zigzaggy. Like I've never seen, not to tap myself on the back, I've never seen an artist handle roads that way, where it looks like a roller coaster going through buildings, and they're not even supported by. It's like they're just sort of floating. Like, that's not even really a great example.
Go back to that example because I like what I see here. Like you see the car in focus on the right? That's the central focus. What I love, and this book's all about speed. This car, he's driving. And this is just something I picked up, and I thought this was really cool. And in the background, you've got the city in focus, but above this car, you can feel and see the speed that it's going with the implied blurred motion lines. I really think that that's a cool trick, how you kept the car in focus, but the background blazing behind him.
For me, it was the vroom.
Good one.
Because we need to know this car is moving.
I think that the challenge with this one was just drawing sideways, especially with a 2-page spread like this.
Right.
The paper is like wider than my table, so I ended up like having to trace some of the cars, but I would still like mess with the proportions anyway because I don't like the way that traced cars look, and I think tracing's cheating. But I had to sort of do some of that just to draw them so fucking big because it would have just taken me too long. I think that would be the way. It's just learning how to do sideways. In fact, when I go back to drawing Batman, it's going to be weird to sort of like work to a regular page again.
Feel confined.
Yeah.
Did you spill a lot of ink having no desk space?
Yeah, no, I was knocking over pens and, I couldn't put my elbows down. Especially if you do a 2-page spread like this and you have a really wide panel at the top, it's like really, really, really wide and really narrow. And it's hard to sort of fit word balloons in that because it's like, you're basically drawing on a giant bookmark shape. and to try to make the words go from left to right and then circle back down to panel 2, that's a lot for a reader's eye to like move. Like you're literally moving your neck. I'm really excited to get a copy of this to see if it works, honestly, because when people read comics, they have their stack, and they usually their favorite books are on the top or on the bottom. So when you get mine, you're going to be like, oh, that's right, this is sideways. And I hope it just like hits you in the face how different of an experience that is, and hopefully for the better.
Now with Zorro, I know you actually bought a sword to have the experience of handling and all. So with this book, did you go buy a lot of cars?
I should have. Yeah, it was a write-off.
It's for research.
Yeah, no, I bought some more diecast models. Like I got more car stuff in my studio than comic book stuff. That won't surprise anybody. I was actually talking with Teasus about merchandising and things like that. Like shirts, of course, hats, but even driving gloves. I never thought of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like coming from that designer world, like after I read this, I started connecting dots, and I texted. I was like, just in world items people just want to wear, right? Like,
right.
You had said like a really high end, authentic looking jacket or driving gloves that someone could use, to their day to day is just things that get people excited, right? They want to celebrate or kind of make that connection with a character like Clutch.
Yeah, like a keychain is an easy one. I can just order those myself. Smaller items like that at the table.
Any kind of merchandise that you can advertise on your favorite porn site.
Exactly. I had Johnny Lightning, the toy manufacturer, reach out a couple of years ago asking about this book because they have the molds for this car already. It's just a matter of changing the paint. So they thought about doing like a San Diego exclusive.
That's cool.
But the communication fell. I mean, I don't remember what happened. Nothing bad. But yeah, I kind of want to see if I can track down his email and see if I can get that going again, because that would be super cool.
How cool would it be if you like created a few series of cars and it's this like model kit, just like in the 80s when we were kids, like you just open it up and you're kind of putting stickers on or recoloring.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I was never good at that, but I always admired people that really took it to the next level and started whipping out the hot glue. But it's such a cool craft, Like, you earn it.
It's fun. Like I know on all of our Instagrams, you probably seen like people that like customize Hot Wheels now, people that customize action figures. Like they'll do like a face on a Batman figure doesn't look good, so they'll print out a better face and whatever. That's really cool watching craftsmanship of the comic industry or the nerdy industry, I guess.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, whether you're a toy manufacturer or you're making a movie based on a book, you want to serve the masses, right? So it's all about conversion. But when you really start getting down and dirty with these real fans, then they start whipping out these Easter eggs and they start bringing this next level of detail that we all appreciate, but we may not have the time, and to go above and beyond.
Yeah. Like I know you're a shoe guy, and I know Dave is too. I'm a little bit, not quite as much as you guys are, but yeah, if they sold like a con sneaker, like Converse style, that had like orange and the checkered, some of the design elements here on the tongue, like I fucking love that. I don't know what the market is outside of us though. I mean, the book hasn't even come out yet, but I guess you never know.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you get that market where like it's 50 to 100 and people are paying a premium for them because they own that real estate, and it's like, hey, it's never going to get released again, and it kind of holds its value, right? Because for many reasons.
Yeah.
I've been wondering when we're going to get to the point where creators start showing up at conventions with 3D printed items, like an exclusive thing. Like you show up at San Diego Comic Con and you've got a 1 of 10 3D print of Clutch or something.
That's cool,
just a 3D printed statue that only 10 exist. They're $500 each, and they go in the first half hour.
So that's interesting. So here's the issue with that though, right? I love that idea. And the spirit of that is awesome, but prints are easier to carry, easier to pack. The overhead is better. Bringing a sculpt that could break and you're only making $200 off of it. It's a cool stunt. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a little wary about some of that stuff,
Yeah, definitely. That's where you may need the rep handling that stuff.
Yeah, that's why I need an evil guy at comic sketch
art. Whoa, we didn't say evil.
No, I'm saying evil now.
All right, guys, that's 1 hour and 6 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut that there.
We'll mark that.
No, where was I? You hear rumors that some art dealers or handlers provide, the traditional like booze, cocaine, and hookers. And I'm like, man, where was that offer? I must have missed that. I had the wrong dealer. I remember
I need to start drawing.
When I went to Brazil, to Sao Paulo, at this they have a huge convention there, like bigger than San Diego. It's 300,000 people. And they were like, I had a handler. Everyone speaks Portuguese, obviously. And she speaks English. She's like, do you need anything? Wink, wink. And I go, what does that mean? She's like, do you need anything? And I go, are you asking me about cocaine? She's like, yeah. And I go, no. And she goes, okay, we change your mind. I'm like, wait, does this come up often? And she's like, yeah. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, and I'm going to name names, but she named a couple actors who they have an addiction and they want to come to a show to sign, but they can't take it with them. So there's a discrete fund to take care of their needs like that. So if you're a huge sci-fi actor and you got to have your Coke for some reason, you can't bring it with you, you go and you just tell them, I need this provided for me. I promise I'm not dangerous. I don't know how it works, honestly. But it just never occurred to me to go to a convention where they were paying my way and asking for lines of Coke. So yeah, maybe next time you'll see me like a lot skinnier and haggard.
First 75 signatures for free, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go. Now he's signing. That's why the dealers provide it, just so the artists work faster. One dealer rep sort of for he has girls working for him, and he jokingly said, this artist so and so is single now, maybe use a back rub or whatever. And I was like, oh man, that's a slippery slope. Like, you don't, especially in the post Me Too era, what the fuck are you doing? So when I hear stories like that, it makes me cringe.
I'm going to take us back into the boring realm now.
Okay.
Talk about a comic thing.
Enough about the cocaine and hookers.
For now.
That's another podcast.
That's one of my porn sites.
So we talked about the moving back from crowdfunding, just going to creator-owned publishing with Image. Now, I feel like when we were talking about the creator-owned thing for either plot holes or for Zorro, part of what you were feeling was a matter of where the market was at the time. Where do you feel now? Do you feel like this is a better time coming to traditional like that we're now in the world where Absolute Batman is reinvigorating comic shops and comic sales so much. Do you feel like this is just good timing to go back to the traditional model?
I don't know. I'm very thankful that Absolute is doing as well as it is. I'm happy for Scott, of course. I'm happy to be at DC, a company that has a plan right now and is making money. I mean, people are looking at Marvel like, you guys need to get your shit together. What are you doing? It's like dangerous for one of your two dads to, start screwing up like this. I'm rooting for them. It's just so odd. But so I don't know. I mean, I'm curious because like when with Scott was pitching his book, a lot of people were like, "Oh, you want to have your own White Knight universe?" And I'm pretty sure he didn't like hearing that. But so what's it like if DC releases two universe Batman books that are very different at the same time? Or maybe it's good. Maybe I'm going to benefit from what Scott's doing, and vice versa in some ways. As far as moving to Image, you could argue it's a good move because Image is outselling Marvel in some ways right now. Maybe people are more excited for indie comics than they were. I'm not really sure how to answer that, honestly. I'm just
Well,
glad the industry is healthy, I guess, for
yeah.
now.
As far as the effect, that's I know. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I have a really easy time using the influx of new people from Absolute Batman to. It's so easy to move people to White Knight. When
Okay.
someone comes in, Absolute Batman was what brought them into a comic shop,
Great.
and
Yeah.
they catch up on that, whatever, and then okay, what else can I read? It's
Right.
a real easy little nudge over. Well, how does this sound? And like, oh yeah, let me try that, and then they're back the next day for the next volume.
That's really good to hear. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that necessarily. So yeah, you pushing it like that is really kind to me. So thank you. And I guess I owe Scott a big wet kiss when I see him. Another one of my favorite websites.
Big wet kiss.
Big wet kiss.
Not Batman White Knight. share initials there.
Batman, big wet kiss.
Yeah, I think that's that's one of the beauties of these Elseworlds or just your own standalone universe that, just like Robin said, new fans can just jump in and everyone knows the mythos of Batman, but to really get this opportunity to get this certain stylized flavor is
Yeah.
is a gateway drug for new fans, and that's what we want, right? Even us as a podcast, we want people that have been with us, but people that are willing to just jump in.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Yeah. It's funny because I know people bemoan the fact that you don't have long running series anymore that last 50 issues or 100 issues. You have them less likely now from Marvel and DC, it seems. The idea of 200, 400, 500 issues of Fantastic Four is just crazy, but it made it hard for people to find a jumping on point.
Right.
But when you restart series all the time, you're giving them jumping off points too. So of course I'm sad that we don't have ongoing series that reach 500 issues anymore. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's better to do short bursts. I worry about the collector market and all the variant covers, of course. It seems like shops have a love-hate relationship with that stuff. Each shop will tell you something different. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even like the past 5 books that we've covered, I know Gramps can speak to it. They're capping off at 12 issues, really, and they're really enjoyable, and it really gives us this new opportunity to kind of see things from a new angle. But I don't know. I guess it gives it slows down the timeline, and just like we just did a book that was 12 issues, and we're hoping that in a year and a half they kind of respawn a whole new story. So it's definitely, maybe it ties back to people's less of an attention span, or people want micro information, but we're used to these longer runs, so we're adjusting.
I don't know, hasn't been decided yet. I guess we'll have to see where it goes. I'm glad that Scott's doing well with Absolute. I hope it has having an effect on all the other books. Like, I know the other Absolute titles aren't doing as well. They're doing good. Like, is the industry still in trouble? Like, Absolute's clearly killing it, but what about everything else? Is the industry, we still have a long-term problem here that we haven't fixed? This is certainly a nice surprise and a break for as hot as Absolute is. We're all happy for the respite and to take the money. But do we still have a long-term problem here? I don't know.
Yeah, it depends what the publishers and what the retailers and the creators to that extent can do to capitalize on this. Like, can all of us together keep those new people that are coming into the shops because of Absolute Batman? Can the retailers keep directing them to more things that will interest them? Can the publishers and the creators keep putting out exciting things? And there's room for both. There's room for long ongoing series. Sure, it's intimidating if a book is at issue 137 and someone's looking at that like, oh, do I have to know what happened in 136 issues before this?
Right. Yeah.
But some people are happy to jump on with that. Some people are more interested in that book that says issue 1 of 9 on the cover, because they can see the end.
Do you feel like, as a comic shop person that runs or owns or works in one, do you think the publishers are listening to you guys enough?
At times, this isn't just to suck up to Image, but Image is really great. And it's not just now, we're at a point now where there are these entities that are springing up from comic creators themselves, like James Tynion has his Tiny Onion studio with his stable of creators, and they run production on most of the books that he's writing, and some now that other people are writing. And so they a lot of that stuff is coming out through Image. So you have not only the people from Image who are already great to deal with, but now also the people that are behind the scenes running stuff at Tiny Onion are also really great to deal with. So any kind of concerns or recommendations that you have are really easily addressed. Because there are people there with an ear open, and a lot of creators like yourself always have an ear open too for what people want to see, what they know moves and what doesn't.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I'm always interested in that stuff.
Yeah, Sean, I remember a few years back when we spoke on a show, and you were just like, it's all about the Wednesday Warriors. When you said that, it always like resonated with me, because that's how I felt like, the true fans are, right? They support, they're there on Wednesdays. They're there nice and early to get their issues. And I think that's what keeps the industry going. But it's also a camaraderie thing. Like when I go to my local shop, I expect to see 3 or 4 guys every time at 6 or 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, and we shoot the shit. And it's cool for like 45 minutes, So
that's something.
It's part of the dance, I love that personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of shops they're changing to a model where they're selling a culture. This isn't a new thing. They've been doing this for years, like not just comics, but obviously T-shirts, Pokemon, having gaming, D&D in the back, whatever it is. Like it's like, instead of a bar to hang out with your friends, you're hanging out in a colorful kind of toy store that has adult objects. Whoops. Items as well.
Your other favorite website.
Too easy.
You got to close that other browser window and just focus on this.
Sorry, guys. It's not holding my attention like it used to. Someone's got to pull their dick out. Come on.
Well, there's a reason I don't have my camera on.
There we go. Poor Kevin. He's like, where is HR?
Oh, I'm HR, by the way.
Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, you're selling a culture, you're selling a vibe, you're selling a hangout, a clubhouse.
Right.
That's been true for a long time, I guess. But yeah, it's great. Like I hear that obviously Pokemon is huge again, and that's where most shops have leaned into. And now, Absolute Batman is good, but Pokemon is still better. But toy, who knows that the 5 sectors are for each shop. It's a really interesting situation that I can't imagine what it's like to own a comic shop. It's not like there's a lot of money in it. People who get into this don't do it because they want to get rich at all.
Have you ever heard of a bar that is a comic book store as well?
No, people talk about that a lot. Like if people throw it around, like, yeah, well, especially at a convention, you've just spent all day at a giant comic book flea market, basically, and now you're at a bar. You're like, why can't we combine this?
Yeah.
But
that's an ingenious idea. I mean, obviously, you can't have kids in there, or I don't know. I mean, maybe you could wristband them, have like a really strict security guy. I don't know how that would work.
Or you got a little speakeasy. You gotta go open up the William Shakespeare bust and press the button.
For adults only.
You could run it. There you go. Like a cigar shop where you sell products in the front, and then in the back you have like a hangout lounge where you can smoke cigars, but have it be with a cooler and just beer or some stuff there, and you can just read your comics there and chill. That might be a model to look at. Or are you more of just a straight up traditional bar that has comics there to read? And then the question is, people go to bars because there's girls there. I don't know if their comic book bar is going to have a lot of girls, although I don't know. A lot of girls are into comics. I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, we've been to the conventions these days.
That's true.
They're looking all right.
I mean, all right, so if the waitresses at the bar are cosplayers serving you food, now we're talking like a Hooters type of model in a way.
This is a $1 billion idea.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it might be a disaster. Where's
the negative draw on this, guys?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like for me, I'd be like, I don't want to hang out with a bunch of nerds. Like for me, especially with like if I'm like, oh, Sean Murphy's here, like great, now I don't get a moment to myself. Awesome. But I definitely understand the impulse and what you're saying. I'd love to see somebody try. I could be wrong.
But that's an important thing that the industry should do, is just keep looking for ideas, and enough good ideas happening at a time.
Right.
With the absolute stuff, another great thing DC has been doing is those compact editions.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it by now. The first volume of White Knight is out in the compact edition.
I've been on their ass for like 3 years trying to push that to them, because they started doing it in Europe first, like in France. And I'm like, this is great. Their idea was, this is like a beach read. If you want to go to a beach somewhere, you don't care about if you're going to bend the comic. It's like a digest size, manga size book. And I'm like, this is
$10 cover price.
Yeah. I showed it to DC and like, I don't know, finally fucking listen. I'm sure it wasn't me that got through, but a few of us have been ranting at them to do this. And finally they did it. So like last year, they're like, oh, we're thinking about doing this with White Knight. And I'm like, oh, really? Thank you. Finally. So yeah, I do appreciate, a cheap $10 buy-in. Now that's competitive with manga. Now we're talking. Now that's smart. Like you put that shit in Walmart if you had to, and it'll start to sell.
Yeah, and the other publishers are doing similar things, but I don't think they're hitting it the right way.
Right.
Marvel's doing, they're nice. They've got like, satiny covers, but they're like an $18 kind of cover price.
Aren't they slightly
Image is doing
larger
them.
also?
The Image, they're bigger than the compacts. And the Image ones too. The Image books they're smaller. They look great. They're redesigned, but they're the same price as the full size ones. So that benefit is out the window. I won't throw this person under the bus by naming them, but I was showing a creator the 3 different versions, and at the end of it, he said, "Well, I'm going to see if when they come to doing our book in a small size, if they can do it the way DC's doing it instead of this way, because it just makes more sense."
Yeah. I think the Tankobon size is huge for kids, for young readers. Like our hope is they accidentally buy a Batman book when they're trying to buy a Pokemon book or whatever. I don't know a lot about manga. You want them like I even draw a little sort of, my style is that has some manga in there, a little bit speed lines and stuff. So like I know some Japanese readers who have they can jump over to my style. Like I don't draw big eyes or anything like that, but so I wonder if my book in Japan would do okay, or if I just need like a Japanese name or a pseudonym or something, like what C.B. Cebulski was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just a great format. It's a great giftable for like, you buy it for a friend. It's cheaper than buying a beer or a coffee at this point. It's like you could be bringing in a new fan with a small gesture. So I think it's a genius idea, and
especially now when everyone is having to make decisions with their money, right?
Right.
Do I need to go spend $50 in the comic shop, or is that something that I need to put tank in my car?
Right.
Yeah. So it's a great introductory way to still sell the books, and then. The thing is also, I've got this smaller size, manga size book. I love the story so much, and if they're like me, they keep upgrading. And eventually I've got the absolute size or the artist edition. Or I even have, you mentioned one of the French publishers that do such an awesome job I even look at them and have bought some of those because what they do, I mean, I want that pristine edition. I can't read it, but man, it looks great.
Yeah. I keep I'll get sent comps a lot, and I'll only keep the foreign ones because I can't read them, but I wrote them, so I know what they say, and the art's better. It's better quality paper, color. Yeah, that's what I'll keep for my trophy edition. Is all the French ones.
It is cool to see some of these comics in different languages. Like my wife went to the Czech Republic 2 years ago and brought me back some DC comics in Czech.
Right.
And I showed Jonathan Glapion. One of them was a Batman book, and I showed it to him, and he was just blown away. He'd never seen anything like that. Didn't even realize that they printed it over there.
Yeah. So I think I remember seeing your wife on one of my favorite Czech porn sites.
Not the favorite, just one of the favorite.
It was one where they caught her shoplifting, right?
4 grams, obviously.
Or she had to get into a taxi and she forgot her money.
That's only grams. Yeah,
Oh man, are there any comic creators that have an OnlyFans page yet?
There must be.
I heard there was a girl in the New England area. She was a cosplayer, and she did life drawing classes. So this is obviously it's not porn; it's art. It's different. And she would dress up as like the Baroness or something. And she decided to do an OnlyFans page, and she made so much money, and she felt bad for her husband because like she started out earning him, or I don't know what it was. She bought him a Ferrari as a thank you for letting her have. Yeah. I can't confirm that story. I don't know this person, but I heard it, so that's good. Good for him.
Awesome, honestly. Yeah, it's great for him.
Yeah,
Grant,
I was going to say
an El Camino.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. They're doing OnlyFans. They're not creating comics anymore, right?
We won't know. Gramps won't tell us that he's in that OnlyFans money, but there will be signs.
There will be signs.
There will be signs.
Thanks for taking the time to be here. Thanks again for letting us get a look at The Last Driver.
Yeah.
Everyone watch out for that. We're August, right?
August, 5-issue series. I assume it'll be collected next year by Image. I'll have another announcement probably before San Diego about my book with Corinne. It's I'll wait to talk about that then. And then, I'm working on Batman now, where Batman, Superman, and some Justice League characters are creeping in. So I'm sure I'll be back to talk with you guys in a year or so. And I'll see you on the road for sure.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you for listening, everyone. And thank you, Sean. Last Driver coming in August. That was Sean Murphy, and this was Bat Force Radio, and we will see you next time.